This
so
guy
we picked a hot one for you.
likes it hot. Pick the hot match.
The hot boys.
Here they are, the two hot boys. Collin Rice playing a hot one in Ponza. Too bad they didn't make Pillage a legal card in this modern format.
Listen.
Do you think Pillage would get played in this Ponza deck? Should it be legal?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's very good.
I'm a big Pillage fan. But only if we have the original Richard Kane Ferguson art.
Yeah, we'll call up Dick Ferguson and see if he will let them use the art for a reasonable price, and then we can have Pillage. So will somebody that's more educated on this topic, here it comes.
Oh, God, here it comes.
The Spotter Monkey's doing us right.
On point tonight. There it is.
Shout-outs to the Spotter Monkey. Shout-outs to our tech guy.
Yeah, Phil.
Phil, making this happen.
Thanks, bro.
Got the backup mic here. It is a beautiful piece of art.
It is. It is really nice.
I like it a lot. So somebody who knows more about this topic than I do, put in the chat what this armband that Collin has tattooed on him means. I don't want to actually interact with another human being and find out from him.
Well, you're interacting with literally tens of human beings.
I know, but I can't see their face as I talk to them, and that's really the part that I don't like.
Oh, you don't like faces?
I don't like to look at the way, look at people and see the reaction that they have when looking at me.
It's probably not good.
The other forearm tattoo is that's a Counter-Strike thing, right?
Well, he's got the Donnie Darko one.
No, I'm talking about the arch inside the circle.
Oh, I don't know.
I thought that was a Counter-Strike thing.
I am not a Counter-Strike guy, so I could not tell you if it was a Counter-Strike thing.
Great game.
I will take your word for it.
Talk about a game that spawned a whole culture.
One culture, please.
Here's Collin sprawling all over the place. It's a good thing Justin bolted the elf there, because
yeah, it was gonna get out of hand. We were gonna get a Chandra on turn 2. It looks like.
Man, could you imagine that?
Oh,
world?
I could imagine.
We're gonna have her on turn 3 in standard, but turn 2 would be
turn 3 in modern. Here we go. Oh no, we're just tracking.
Yeah, he's got a tireless tracker, so he's got 2 fetch lands in hand. So
that's fair. Given
no answer to this tireless tracker, it's gonna really generate lots of card advantage.
Just cascade out of control.
All right. Justin's gonna take this opportunity to path it.
Interesting that he paths it instead of lightning helixing it.
Yes.
Either way. He gets one clue.
Yeah, he's got an yeah.
I don't know what that clue is or supposed to be, but
clearing up the timing issues here. Yeah, but that's Collin's clue. He's got a clue.
One clue, please.
I do like how I feel like every standard format has contributed like a card to modern. Like this is the one out of the whole clues and that whole
like the block
return to Innistrad block thing. Well, it's just that theme, that, investigate theme.
Tireless tracker?
Yeah, he has the investigate keyword on it. I think that's nice.
So other cards from the same block that see play much more prominently in modern: Collective Brutality.
Okay.
Liliana of Last Hope.
Okay. None of them had the keyword from the block.
True. Grimflayer has a keyword from the block.
Yeah, Grimflayer would be the one that
also Collective Brutality has a keyword
the delirium
from the block.
Keyword from the block. I'm still keyword from the block.
Are you?
No, I was making a J-Lo reference there. How can you not love how can you not love a good J-Lo reference?
I get it. Here's a Gideon.
Here's Justin playing on his phone. He's going to bring up some Oracle text for us.
Here's a Gideon of the trials.
So many trials.
All right. So Collin's going to untap with 5 mana, 6 mana if he wants it.
He's got all kinds of options.
I gotta imagine he's gonna start Ponzaing at some point.
Yeah, he's way ahead on land drops here. And Justin has gone land down. So there's no opportunity to counterspell. If he has Stone Rain, Molten Rain, anything of that nature.
Anything. Literal anything. So he could Chandra plus for mana and then cast something else?
Yeah, that's a play. Here she comes.
4 mana, 5 mana. Oh, we're just Storm Breathing. Yeah, that seems like a totally reasonable thing to do here.
We could have Chandra'd and Storm Breathed. It looks like.
Likely. He likely could have.
And he could have also played that card as it cost him no mana.
0 manas.
The Utopia Sprawl generates a mana and costs a mana, so it's a free one.
Yes. How do you feel about his choice of
No, he could not have. I was wrong. So I'm on these unstable basics. Yeah. If you're on a monocolored deck, I will only put them in monocolored decks. I feel a little dirty saying that, as I adjusted my standard deck to include 2 swamps in the mono red deck, and didn't switch the basics out to have different. So I have 16 unstable mountains, 2 unglued swamps.
That's disgusting.
Yeah,
you disgust me.
And so in this situation, he's mixed them up. I'm happy for him.
I am too happy for him.
I hope he enjoys them. All right, here's 7.
Oh, we're going monstrous.
See your hands at the concert. Everyone knows I'm an MF and monster. So there's an activated ability and a trigger that results from that activation. What Justin could have done is let the activated ability be on the stack,
right,
and then path it, and you'll never get the trigger from the activation, because the activation has to resolve before the trigger of Justin taking a gajillion damage.
Is Stormbreath Dragon pro white?
Oh, it does have pro white. So Justin couldn't have done any of that.
There's nothing Justin could have done. Justin's just going to take it on the chin.
His hands were tied. He took a lot of damage that turn. 10.
10 of the damages.
Was it? So he took... I forget if it's cards in Justin's hand or cards in Collin's hand.
I believe it's cards in Justin's hand. That's why he cast out the Snapcaster in response.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Man. This hand from Collin is an absurdity.
Yeah.
So I gotta figure we want to get out this Chandra.
It looks like he has 2 Bloodbraid Elves, though.
Bloodbraid Elf, Inferno Titan.
Okay. I would Bloodbraid Elf to start.
I would not Chandra to start.
Well, that's the path he's chosen. Here's some red mana. And here's a 5 mana Bloodbraid Elf.
We're floating a mana so that we can escalate this spell that's about to come down. Oh, man. This is awkward. So, Justin has a Cryptic.
Just a side note here. Collin should have shuffled those cards off of Bloodbraid Elf. This is a
game rules violation.
A penalty that people have been calling on each other at higher levels of play. So don't forget
Which
to
is
do
really
that.
A shame.
Yeah, well, yeah, I agree. It's a little bit of
It's necessary. It's 100% necessary that it has the shuffle clause on there.
Yes.
But it's still a shame.
Yes. I want all right. So Justin's got a ton of mountains. He does have the 1 basic island, so he's not completely shut out. But he's a long way off this Cryptic command.
Yeah, he's never casting this Cryptic. Never surviving this attack.
Yep.
That's the game.
Interesting.
That's the whole game.
So while we called this deck Ponza, Collin didn't cast any land destruction
He
spells.
didn't Ponza a single thing.
Blood Moon was his...
No, he did not shuffle the Titan from his hand, too. He kept that in his hand.
Correct.
Till the bitter end.
Made sure. It's a nice deck. I mean, I don't have the chutzpah to play this deck. Decks where you need like that mana creature to live, or like the deck just doesn't do anything.
Right.
Really, just make me nervous.
Sure.
And so the last one I played was Bant Eldrazi, where you need the Noble Hierarch to live. But
You did very well with that deck.
I did do well with that deck, and it was played at a time where Lightning Bolt wasn't as good.
I mean, Fatal Push was still there.
Yeah, Fatal Push was there, but decks like Jeskai weren't prevalent yet, so there wasn't as many Lightning Bolts. So at most of the time, my Noble Hierarch got pathed.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
Which is fine. In that style deck, because you just want any form of acceleration is fine. Where for Collin, if that Arbor Elf gets pathed, that's much worse than being able to target this Utopia. It's still fine.
It's still fine.
Listen, I would still rather be untapping a Utopia Sprawled Forest.
You're not wrong.
Sprawling out everywhere.
But you still get the turn 2 Molten Rain.
Concur.
And that's what matters.
These are the things that matter.
Yes. You don't get the turn 2 Chandra, which is a shame.
That's a damn shame.
Really is. Or the turn 2 Bloodbraid into a Molten Rain. Get him.
Or Bloodbraid into Blood Moon, even better. Bloodbraid into Blood Moon.
I like Bloodbraid into Molten Rain on their bounce land. That's where I want to be.
Bloodbraid cascading into Molten Rain on your Boros Garrison.
Yeah, you really got to take down that Boros Garrison. It's a shifty one.
Speaking of common lands that are going to see a resurgence, this Brawl format really has me digging through my boxes for some random-ass lands.
Yeah, which ones? Which ass lands in particular?
All the uncommon ones that are there's the blue-red one that got printed, and there's I'm playing Nicole Bolas. So all the uncommon lands that fall under that. There's the uncommon from the Amonkhet block.
Yes.
That it's the only one that makes 3 colors.
Well, it filters.
Oh, does it filter?
Yeah.
Still playing it.
Cool.
All right, fine. Tried to bring up a topic I know you're excited about.
I'm very excited about Brawl. Can we talk about Brawl for a minute?
Can
we talk about Brawl for a minute?
I just forced it. Did you hear how hard I forced it?
Just 1 minute.
I think everybody out in the hot modern universe heard it.
No, nobody's
paying attention to me.
Nobody's picking up what you're putting down.
All right.
But yeah, I'm very excited about Brawl. I think it's a deep format. I think there's a lot of different ways you can go with it. I don't know if I prefer 1v1 or multiplayer just yet, but I think we'll find out real quick.
Yeah.
In general, I don't like multiplayer because I don't like the stupid politics that can be involved.
Wow, that's a weird thing to hear from you.
What?
So we play a multiplayer game every week.
Yeah, and I am like dead silent 90% of the time.
Do you just not enjoy, or you can say it here? None of the other guys at the table are listening.
I don't want to influence anybody with anything that I say. I just want to be like, I want to play a game of Magic. I don't want to play a game of Thrones.
Oh, some people really love that element.
Yeah.
But I agree that our game is very low on the politics.
Oh man, we're loading it up.
Interesting. Yeah, our EDH game, our home game, is pretty low on politics.
Yeah.
I've tried to make it political because you seem to win all the games.
Yeah, I mean, you're more than welcome to it. I don't like like if someone's saying, "Oh, well, he's gonna probably win in the next turn or two," like that's one thing,
right?
But I don't like political in terms of okay, let's attack, this person or this person. Like,
oh, you don't like to cut a deal?
Yeah, I don't like cutting a deal. I don't like trying to obscure information.
Not a fan of the lying, huh?
No. I want everything to be on the up and up. I just want to play a game of Magic. Magic, man. Just want to play it. 3 mana. What do we got? Oh, another Utopia's Brawl.
2 floating.
This 1 forest.
I guess he's working hard on making these drops happen. Snapcaster Bolt you. So Justin sees the writing on the wall here. What he's done is with this Blood Moon in play, he knows that he has no choice but to just go at him.
Right.
Because there's very few outs for him moving forward.
So many Utopia Sprawls.
He's got a mountain here.
He's got a lot of mountains.
Concur. So he can Snapcaster, but not flash anything back.
Yeah, I don't know that it's worth waiting on that.
Here's 5 mana for Collin.
Drew a second land. 5 mana is a dangerous amount.
It's a whole bunch.
I think that's a Thundermaw Hellkite in hand. Looks like we're just going to drop a Thrun.
Yeah.
No biggie.
That'll clean it up pretty quick here.
Just a Thrun.
Justin can like sit around and wait to block on this Thrun and that kind of thing, but
that's not good.
Yeah, that's not where you want to be. Draws another mountain.
Puts 2 mountains on the bottom, I believe.
Yeah, this can't feel good.
Mountain for turn. Thrun's really going to kind of take over here, it looks like.
Yeah.
I would... Yeah, sure. Just blow up a land.
Yeah, here's a Molten Rain on the only island.
We've got 1 floating, technically.
I don't think he's going to be able to use it. He's thinking hard about it, though. Here comes the Thrun. Here comes the Thrun. I think that search flips. I don't know how it's worded to...
Yeah, I think it has to flip. Don't think it's a May ability. Might be. It may be. It's a May.
So tell me, what card... What's your favorite go deep card in Brawl? What card, if you like never played before, but you're like, oh, this card is a Brawl card?
Never played before in like limited
or just in, you maybe you haven't played it much, or you haven't like it just hasn't happened to been in any of your standard decks yet, but you're gonna play it in Brawl for sure.
Well, I've earmarked a particular Manglehorn that I'm gonna be playing.
Oh, do you have one? Do you have like a stamped one from a Grand Prix?
No, I have a foil one that I've just been sitting on, waiting for this format to exist.
Waiting for Guffman.
Waiting for this moment.
All right. So we got a lot of activity over here.
Opts to not untap his 4 mana forest, and instead beat for 1, taking Justin down to 3.
Here's another mountain. Justin just doesn't have anything.
Yeah, and that's it. That's unfortunate.
Here comes the hand. Justin's... That's a tough one. That's a tough way to go.
It's pretty rough.
That's a bad matchup.
So Justin's
he didn't have the gates for
a lot of Blood Moon games where he's just won by the Blood Moon.
Yeah.
And if you win by the Blood Moon, you die by the Blood Moon.
Sure.
There's just no 2 ways about it.
I would assume that like the minute he sees a Blood Moon, he just brings in all the negates.
Yeah, any number of answers. And did he see a Blood Moon game 1?
Yeah, because he rolled one off of a Bloodbraid Elf.
So, you know you're up against a Blood Moon deck, so you're going to sideboard appropriately. You're going to fetch appropriately.
Didn't have the opportunities.
Didn't have the opportunity. So, that's the way it goes sometimes when you're playing in this wonderful modern format full of Blood Moons and Ponzas.
It's a non-zero factor. There's a legitimate number of Ponza decks in any given
There is a
tournament.
legitimate number of Ponza decks, and there are Blood Braids cascading into Blood Moons. It's a whole bloody thing.
Well, let's leave you guys with an assignment. Go on MTG Goldfish, brew a
brawl deck.
Brew your brawl decks.
Brew your brawls. Brew a brawl deck.
A brawl. Oh man, I haven't even thought of that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Put them in the chat. We'll come back and we'll talk about them. We'll deck doctor your brawl decks.
We're gonna deck doctor brawls and talk about modern maybe.
Yeah, we'll call the match too, but
yeah, maybe.
I'm just giving us an out in case the match isn't. I mean, that was kind of a blowout. It wasn't very.
It wasn't.
It wasn't like anything to call.
We'll be back soon.